What is your nails on a chalkboard feeling? When people scrape a fork against their teeth while they're eating. A friend of mine always does this. Every time he takes a bite and pulls a fork out, I hear carrot carrot yike. This actually hurt me just to read. I can feel it. That and a fork scraped against a plate gives me the chills thinking about it. This irritates my mother so badly. My brother and I have always eaten like that, but never noticed until she pointed it out. Of course now we do it much louder cause my family loves to mess with each other. This comment physically hurt me. Loud children. Whether it's crying or laughing or squealing or screaming, I don't care, I just hate loud children. Babies babbling to themselves, or that cute things kids do when they say a word they recently learned over and over and think no one is listening. Super cute. The shrill high decibel of those same vocal cords working double time make me want to shoot myself in the face with a shotgun or stab my eardrums out with a skewer. If I ever have kids, I'm buying some super high rated industrial earmuffs. Running my nails against paper makes me want to actually die. Phone book paper is the worst. I'm surprised those are still given out yearly. Yellow Pages should just send a card that asks if you're in or not instead of just putting one on every doorstep once per year. It would cut down on a lot of waste. Got the chills just reading this. Why did you remind me of that feeling? Running my teeth on a popsicle stick. Just the thought of it makes me tense up. I just had a crisis because of this comment. Only because I'm the same way. Also running my teeth along a piece of chalk or one of those really thick tug-of-war ropes. Shudders. I never realized how much I hate this until I read this comment. When you paint a car, you have to scuff the old surface to provide mechanical adhesion for the new primer and paint. A common way to do the scuffing is to use a maroon Scotch-Brite pad. The noise from that makes me shudder. The only way I could scuff my car was to put in earbuds, play music loudly, and wear earmuffs over that. And I still had to take breaks. Yeah, I know when all your teeth are sore loose and you're really starving. So you grab a hopefully small chunk of food with some chopsticks and shove the chopstick into the back of your mouth all the way past your teeth and tongue and just drop the food directly in your throat. Well, it always makes me cringe when I accidentally spaz out and scrape my uvula. For some reason for me, it has always been these like holographic third cards. Never mind scraping a nail or something across it. I can't even touch it at all without feeling my entire body curl. Ugh. Yep, that's it. I hate it so much. Touching paper. It is so coarse and dry, especially book paper. Instantly dries out my entire body touching it. I would rather run my fingers along the inside lining of my microwave than touch it, especially after going a long time without reading a book. Styrofoam rubbing together, or any two dry things. Just imagine a mountain of styrofoam, and people sledding down the mountain in styrofoam sleds. See, now your normal interactions with styrofoam don't seem so bad. Other people chewing loudly or breathing loudly. Same. I do lash extensions as a hobby, and I have to get close to people's faces and some people breath really loudly, or have mucus in their throat and it's so hard to concentrate. Pulling wool clothing out of a dryer, and feeling that weird squidgy frictiony feeling of the fibers rubbing against each other. It just, makes me get chills and my throat feels funny and my words go dumb, and I just can't high-pitched human noises. I'm amazed at the frequency children and some girls are able to reach, and I hate it so much. It instantly makes me physically hurt and more than few seconds of that gives me a headache for hours afterwards. There's a Dyson hand dryer in a bathroom I frequent, and I cannot stand that noise. It sounds like a normal hand dryer except for this high-pitched tone underneath the rest of the noise that makes me wince whenever I hear it. A coworker constantly making a cloploke sound while talking on phone. She does it involuntary, but it can easily get to you. Cloploke. Do you mean when they smack their lips or something else? I work at a daycare with toddlers, and whenever toddlers touch my arms with wet hands I just shrink, even if I know it's just water. There's just something so alien feeling about tiny wet hands being on my skin. I can't even type this without cringing. Those green dish scrubbies. I cannot. It makes me twitch and grit my teeth, and I hate it. The feeling is just, I have to be done. Just happened yesterday. Moving trucks galore, 20 swole men stretching out sticky packing tape at incredibly high speeds. The sound drove me over the brink, had to escape the house for a bit. Brand new dollar bills. Not only does it take longer to count than it should, because the cash is stuck together, the feeling against my skin is so uncomfortable. I'd rather touch sandpaper. Ever nick your fingernail with the razor while shaving? Chills? Not quite the same, but I once peeled off a large portion of my nail by accident when peeling potatoes. When couches or pillows have the fabric with the little bumps, I hate the sound it makes. Yes, I had to make the sound, so y'all would know what I'm talking about. Sound of Satan. Cutting meat on a plate. We ate steak for dinner like 2 days ago and all I heard was the construction sound of the knife scraping the plate while trying to cut the steak. I hate the feeling of clay hardening on my hands. It's honestly really uncomfortable, and it was one of the reasons I disliked art class in elementary school. Cotton wool. It gives me a weird electric shock feeling in my teeth. The only way I can get over that feeling is if I lick my front teeth. I have two. When people scrunch up toilet paper cardboard, or when people are shining a glass. Literally have to cover my ears. Hearing any bug buzz as it flies or any, but tap 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 as it crawls really fast. In that moment I'd rather die before anything else. The super close ridge texture on things, like notebook covers, when it's holographic imaged. It keeps me up at night sometimes. I can't stand feeling my clothes against my skin. My skin is sensitive, especially to fabric, felt, and such. Touching cardboard with wet hands makes me feel sick just thinking about it. No idea why, but it's always bugged me. When ice is scraped off car windows, but for my boyfriend he can't stand the texture of stovetop burners on electric stoves. Erasers being used too hard. I have to tell all my teachers at school about my irrational fear of the high-pitched squeaking of an eraser. Biting down on a popsicle stick and slowly dragging it out of your mouth as your front teeth slide across its surface. Scary. When your pencil suddenly starts making this weird noise while you're writing. When it feels kinda rough, right? Having to put the lid back onto a glass container and having to hear the glass scraping against each other makes me cringe so hard. Rough brown paper. You know, the stuff you used to write on in like first grade? The feeling still makes me uncomfortable. Other people whispering, especially when I'm tired. Can't stand this. Only fine when I do it though, lol. When somebody says to times a number by something instead of multiply. Same with minus, and subtract and plus and add. Dunno why, but I started thinking about scraping your teeth down a chalkboard. It shivers just thinking about it. That weird satin type fabric on some decorative pillows makes me cringe every time I run my hand across it. Coughing up that weird goop, old man corner of the mouth stuff, people who smack their food and chew with their mouth open. Those god-awful, hard as a rock marshmallows in Lucky Charms makes my skin crawl even thinking about them. The sequin pillows that you can change the color of by running your hand up and down them literally make me want to throw up. This isn't a sound, and more of a feeling, but I hate touching paper, especially if I have damp hands. Rubbing fabric with my fingertips, like rubbing someone's back over their shirt, to get them to fall asleep. Accidentally biting on the hairs or brush put IDK of a toothbrush just thinking about it is making me cringe. Eating with a sinus infection, it feels like biting into a popsicle ice cream, but 50 times worse. All kinds of brushing sounds, like brushing teeth, or using a steel brush on something made of metal. Dragging anything across a window screen puts a shiver down my spine just thinking about it. The broken wood pencil against paper. Every time it happens I want to cry a river or die. Scraping a plate with a fork. My ears and teeth for some reason sting whenever I hear this. Crushing dry floral foam or styrofoam or forks on plates. It makes me cringe. That feeling that you can escape like in sand or conditioner in floor of a tub while you lay down. I can't stand the feeling of velvet. It makes me shudder and my teeth feel just bletch. Styrofoam coming out of the box it's fit to. It's the worst sound in the entire world. Those fuzzy polyester throw blankets. It makes my fingers actually hurt. The sound of the sharp tool that the dentist uses when scraping plaque off your teeth. Forks, knives, or in my youngest son's case, spoons on dinner plates. Locking your teeth on a fork and pulling it out gives me the shivers. Scratching that thing that moves when you look at it from another direction. Erg. Fingernails on the outside of a car and bare feet on the garage floors. Those rectangular green Scotch-Brite scrub pads when they're new. Biting into a piece of cilantro, just instant spine tingle. Nope. Touching any dry surface after touching any degreasing agent. People coughing up heavy amounts of mucus or very wet sneezes. When people scrape their knife on a plate when cutting anything with force. My nails on a chalkboard feeling is nails on a chalkboard. The sound of your shoes rubbing on carpet and #2 pencil erasers. Opening jars that creak. I literally get goosebumps. Bare skin, particularly fingertips against concrete or asphalt. Knives on plates. The screeching makes me wanna seppuku. The feeling and sound of cornstarch between fingertips. X. Socks rubbing on carpet. Each I'm cringing out. Accidentally biting the fork when eating. _ Touching a sheet of paper after washing my hands. A sudden very boisterous laugh, it makes my vision shake. The squeaky sound of playing with a balloon or a balloon inflating. The sound of people biting, chewing their nails, cuticles. Running nails over Velcro or other similar fabrics. Skin rubbing on plastic. It's the worst. Opening a freezer overfilled with ice on the top. Accidentally biting down on a piece of sand. When people with long nails rub chalkboards. The vision of a tree growing on the roof of a house. Nails scratching pantyhose-like material. The sound of someone rubbing a balloon. A really bad local band playing too loudly. Untrimmed nails on jeans after a shower. When the insides of my ankles touch each other. Somebody touching my neck while I'm peeing. When someone criticizes Minecraft. Friction between a broken crayon and paper. Accidentally tasting any sort of cloth. Dry palm rubbing across a dry towel. Touching paper when my hands are pruny. Silverware hitting teeth as the person eats. Thinking of my teeth against concrete. Accidentally touching your teeth with a fork. The grinding of ice build up in the freezer. Touching a wooden spoon with my tongue. A large push broom on a sidewalk. Metal spoon scraping a metal bowl. Channel West Coast hideous laugh. The sound wet wool makes when it rubs. Nails on sandpaper, fuloak. Wet fingers on magazine's paper. Dragging a blanket on a carpet. A knife cutting through cardboard. Fork on a plate and my own teeth. Scratching a plate with a fork. Metal clinking and scratching.